Abdul, you got the answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Emmanuel, Aryan, switch on the video. Your program is correct, then there is no need of writing this statement. Okay. Completed? Then I will explain. Okay. So here, first I create one dictionary, that is D1 is equal to, first thing it is RIA, CSC, Mark, ECO, then Kamal, SCI. These are the key value pair included in the dictionary. So first I create one dictionary D1 based on three values, Ria, Mark and Kamal. Okay. Then after that, I want to enter the search elements. Okay. Our program is to check if a particular value is present in the dictionary. If I am giving ECO, I want to check if this ECO is present in the dictionary. That is the question. Okay, if I am giving SCI as N, then it will check in this dictionary and it will return if that value is present in the dictionary or not. If it is present, it will display the respective key. Our question is like this: print its key. After searching, print its key. That is the question. Isn't it, Gauri?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we want to print the key. If a particular value is present in the dictionary, then it will print the corresponding key. Otherwise, it will print not found or search element is not exist in the dictionary. Any message you can give like this. I'm just giving not found. Okay, that means that particular value is not in the dictionary. Okay, that is the program. Then, so the second statement is for inputting the search element. Okay, that is n is equal to input within double quotes. I'll write enter the search element. That is, if I want to search ECO, I will input ECO here and the value of n become ECO. Okay, that is the second statement. This is a search program. So we want to input the search element. After that, you can check if that particular value in this n is present in the dictionary or not. For that purpose, we are using this if statement and for statement. Okay, the first two statement is clear. Okay, then if n in d1 dot values, what is the meaning of d1 dot values? What is the use of values, Aditya?
To print all the values in the
All the
dictionary.
values. Then here, if we print like print d1 dot values, what is the result, Emmanuel? Print d1 dot values. What is the result?
The values of the key
Which are the values?
CS, ECO,
CSC, ECO, SCI. These are the values. Okay. So if n in d1 dot values, d1 dot values means it is CSC, ECO, and SCI. So it will check if n. What is n? Krishna, what is n?
Input value, right?
Input value. Which value we are giving here?
Echo.
Yes, ECO is the value of n. Okay, here we input the value ECO, so that ECO is stored in N. So if N in D1 dot value, D1 dot value it is CSC, ECO and SCI. It will check if this N means ECO is present in this values. Is it present? Yes. Okay. So if the value is MAT, if the value of N it is MAT, what will happen, Achyut? It will just go to the else part and will print not found. Okay, that means the value of N it is MAT. Okay, the next statement it is if N means the value of N it is MAT. If MAT is present in is used for checking if a particular substring or value, in here it is value present in a dictionary. So if N in dictionary values, D1 values it is CSC, ECO and SCI. So MAT is present in these values? No. So here the result is false. So the control moves to the else part and it will print not found. Is it clear? Okay. Then our previous value it is ECO. So here the value is ECO. So it will check ECO is present in this set of values. Here ECO is present. So control moves to the next statement. Okay. If ECO is present in the list, we have to take the first value and check if that particular value is the first index value, or if it is in the second index value, or if it is in the third index value. Okay, if that particular value is present in the values list, we want to check that particular values index, or where we can find that particular ECO value in this list. For that we are using for A in D1. For A in D1, instead of A we can write I, just like loop variable. A is the loop variable. Okay, for A in D1 means we check all the values of D1 with this A. Okay, here A is the starting index value. Which is the starting index value? Here it is RIA. It is not in RIA. RIA, the index value is 0. So the starting value of A it is 0. That is the key of CSC. Okay. So for A in D1 means first it will take the key RIA. Okay. So value of A it is, or key of A it is RIA. Or the content of A it is RIA. That is actually the value of A it is 0 because the starting index it is 0. So in for loop, the value of A begin with the starting index, that is RIA, or 0th index key, that is RIA. So the value of A it is RIA in D1. In D1 means this in this dictionary. So if D1 of A, what is D1 of A? So first value of A it is RIA. D1 of A means, what is D1 of A? For what purpose we are using this D1 of A? For accessing the values using index. Okay. For accessing the values using index, we are using this statement D1 of A. Okay. D1 of A. D1 within square bracket, we will write the index value. So D1 of A means D1 of RIA, which is equal to N. What is N? Aryan, what is N? Aryan, what is N?
Input value.
Input value, which value? Which value, Aryan? It is ECO. Switch on the video. It is ECO. So if D1 of A, what is D1 of A? D1 of A, it is CSC. So CSC equal to ECO. It will check like this. If D1 of A means first time A, it is RIA. So the value of RIA, it is CSC. So D1 of A means CSC. If CSC is equal to ECO, is it correct? No, it's a false statement. CSC is not equal to ECO. So it will go to, again go to for loop. It will increment the value of A. 0 becomes 1. So the next key value pair is used for checking. Okay. So after this statement, the control moves to for loop and the value of A is incremented. So it moves to the next key, it is mark. Okay. Then if D1 of A, what is D1 of A? Now the value of A, it is mark. Then D1 of A means D1 of mark. D1 of mark, it is ECO. ECO equal to ECO. That is true. So it will go to the next statement, print the key is. Where is the key? Key is in A. What is the value of A? A, it is mark. It will display mark. Why we are using this break statement here? Achyut? Why we are using break statement here?
Understand whole.
That means we want to stop the searching or stop the for loop. One more element is there. One more pair is there for checking. But we got the result. That's why we want to compulsorily stop this, stop the for loop using this break statement. That's why we are using a break here. If there is no break, what will happen? Dia?
Else it will go to else statement.
Will go to else statement. Ah, okay. Is it correct, Adul?
It will go to the for loop again.
No, it will go to the for loop again. Okay. If this condition false, then only it will go to else state. This if. If this if is wrong, then only it will move to the else part. If there is no break, it will again move to for loop. So it will check with this value also. There is no need of checking all the other values if we got the answer. Okay, that's why we are using a break statement here. Okay, we got the answer after the second iteration. So we will stop the searching or stop the for loop compulsorily, or we can jump the state execution from this position to last statement. For that purpose, we are using this break statement. There is no need of going to the for loop session. Okay. After after checking if the result is okay, then there is no need of going to the break statement. We can there is no need of going to the for statement. We can just break this iteration or break the for loop. For that purpose, we are using a break statement here. Okay. Srihari, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Manuel.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in this program, our question is to create one dictionary and check whether a particular value is present in the dictionary or not. Okay, for that, first I create one dictionary D1 with the corresponding values. 3 values are there. After that, I want to input the search element. For that, I will just write, give name n. N is equal to input, enter the search element. We can give any value, either it is in the dictionary or it is not in the dictionary. Any value we can give. Here I am giving ECO. Then After that, if n in d1 dot values, first I want to check if that particular entered element is present in the dictionary or not. If it is not present, there is no need of executing these statements. These four statements, we can, there is no need of executing these four statements. So it will just go to else part and print not found. So in the first if statement, it will check all the values with this n value. For getting all the values from the dictionary, we are using the statement d1 dot values. d1 dot values means all the values in the dictionary. Here we are using 3 values, CSC, ECO and SCI. So these are the values. It will check if the particular value, that is ECO, is present in the values list. Here it is present. So we will continue with the next statement. The next, we want to take each and every value from this dictionary. For that, we use a for loop. Okay, first we want to take CSC. Then we want to take ECO. Then we want to take SCI. For that, we are using this for loop. For A in D1. A means the first value is stored in A, that is RIA. If D1 of A means the value of A, it is RIA. D1 of RIA. What is D1 of RIA? This statement is used for accessing using index, accessing values using index. So D1 of RIA, it is CSC. CSC is equal to N. Value of N, it is ECO. CSC is not equal to ECO. So it will move to for loop again. So it will, after first iteration, it will increment the value of A. So now the value of A, it is mark. Then it will check D1 of mark is equal to N. D1 of mark, it is ECO. So ECO is equal to ECO. It's a true statement. So it will print the key is. We want to print the key. So the key is in A. So we will print A. Then after that, a break statement is there because there is no need of next iteration. We got the result, so there is no need of continuing the iteration. Okay, so we'll break the session. Okay, that is the program. Is there any doubt regarding this program? Anyone? Any statement need explanation? Okay. So our next program is, here I am giving ECO. Okay. When I am giving ECO, what will be the output? Aditya, what will be the output if it is ECO? Small letter ECO. Our value, it is capital letter E and CO.
Ma'am, not found.
Not found, correct. Then write a program. Write a program to check, without checking the case, we want to check the value. That is, if we are in this program, the output is not found. Okay. In this program, output for this ECO is not found. Write another program. If you are giving this ECO also, the output is correct. That is, you want to print the key. There is no need of checking the case. That is the program. Is it clear? Write the question. Make changes in the above program so that the program returns the key. The program returns the key even if the cases differ. Even if the cases differ. That means we want to only check the alphabets. There is no need of checking. Okay, Achut?
Print again program so that
the program returns the key The program returns the key even if the cases differ. Even if the cases differ. Even if the cases differ. Here we got one string value. Then we want to check without irrespective of the case. Okay. D1 of A means it's a string value. That is the clue. D1 of A, it is a string value. Here also a string value. How we can check irrespective of the case? Any idea? Anyone? All of you switch on the video. Manual. What happened, Emmanuel? Very sad.
No sir, no.
Okay. Any idea, Chud? No. Here you can use upper or lower. Okay, I will explain. If D1 of A is equal to N, that is the statement. Here the content is ECO. We want to convert this ECO into upper. And also here also we want to convert that content into upper. Okay, or lower. Here if we are using upper, what is the result of this? It is ECO. Okay. Here also I am using upper, N dot upper. Then what will happen here? Here also it is ECO. Then it will check. Okay. Or we can use, instead of upper, you can use lower. Lower also. That means our content is completely converted to uppercase letter or lowercase letter. Okay. Either you can convert our complete value into uppercase letter, then the search element also is converted to uppercase letter. Or we can convert the value to lowercase letter. The search element is also converted to lowercase letter using n dot lower. Is it clear?
Ma'am,
Using upper or using lower. Okay. Either you can use upper or you can use lower. I will explain. Here the content it is ECO. If D1 of A upper, which is equal to n dot upper. Instead of this if statement, write if D1 of A dot upper, which is equal to n dot upper. Here what will happen, Achyut? Our content is ECO. Now it will converted completely all the letters in capital letter. Here also we convert that ECO. Here we input ECO. It will converted to ECO. If you are giving small letter ECO, here what will happen? This ECO is not in this list. Our value list ECO means capital letter ECO. But in our previous program, it will display like not found. But now the statement is like, if the statement is like this, it will convert this ECO into uppercase. So the value here it is ECO. And ECO, n value it is ECO, small letter ECO. This also will convert it to capital letter. So the value it is ECO. Then it will check both are equal. So it will print the key is A. Is it clear? Is it clear, Krishna?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Write the complete program. Okay. Or we can give if d1 of A dot lower. This is also possible. Gauri, explain this statement using lower. What will happen if we execute if d1 of A dot lower and n dot lower?
ECU, the case fully will be in lower
Yes.
letter.
Here the value it is ECO. Then n dot lower also converted to ECO. So here also the result is same. ECO is equal to ECO. This is also possible. Either you can use upper or you can use lower. Okay, Aryan? So next it is sorting techniques. Write one more question. This question. Find and write the output of the following Python code. Find and write the output of the following Python code. Find and write the output of the following Python code. X is equal to A, B, C, D, E, F. I is equal to A, while I in X. Print I, comma, end is equal to space. Here there is no need of run this program in the compiler, okay? You just find out without running, okay? What is the use of this end equal to space? End equal to space. Any idea? Anyone?
Same line.
Same line. Correct. The first value, after first value, there is a space. If there is no end equal to, the default delimiter it is slash. If we just display like print I, the first value, next line, second value, next line, third value, just like that. It will display like that. That is the default delimiter it is slash n or new line. Here we are giving end is equal to space, means after first value there is a space, then second value, space, third value, just like that, okay? Without running the program, you want to find out the output. In for loop, the incrementation is done automatically. But in the case of while loop, how we can increment the value? How we can increment the value? In while loop, we are using a separate statement for incrementation. Here, one statement is there for I is for incrementation, that is I is equal to I plus 1. Okay. When we are using while statement, you want to use I is equal to I plus 1 for moving to the next value. Here, there is no I is equal to I plus 1 statement. Then what will be the output? Srihari?
Ma'am, A, any is in same line.
Yes, correct. A space A space A. That is continuing with that A value. There is no delimiter here. That means there is no stop there here, and also there is no incrementation also is not there. So it will just print A. That is X is equal to A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. I is equal to A. The value of I, it is A. After that, we are not giving any incrementation. So always the value of A, it is A. A in X. A is present in X. Yes, A is present in X. Always this statement will true. Because always the value of A, I, it is A. So A is present in X. A is already there. So first it will check A is present in X. It is correct. So it will print I. What is I? I, it is A. So it will print A. Then after that, there's a space. Then it again go to while statement. If there is one increment statement, so if there is one increment statement, I is equal to I plus 1, then the next time the I value, it will be B. It will increment. But here there is no I is equal to I plus 1 statement. So it will print, first time it will print A. After that, it again go to I while statement. Then here A again, A in X. It will check again A in X. A is present in X. So it will again print A. Then you will go to, it will a runtime error, or it will infinite, it will be a one infinite loop. Infinite loop means there is no end. Okay. It is one of the infinite loop. Okay. This is one of your board exam based on this chapter. Okay. Any doubt? Emmanuel, is it clear? Okay. Then, so last topic it is sorting technique. After that, we will discuss some more questions. Okay. So next it is sorting techniques. What is sorting techniques? We can arrange the elements either it is in descending order or it is in ascending order. Okay, that is sorting technique. Sorting technique means we can arrange the elements in a list or tuple or in dictionary, any collection literals. We can just arrange the elements, either it is in ascending order or it is in descending order. By default, we are doing all the sorting techniques based on ascending. Okay. Then there are so many sorting techniques are there. Insertion sort is there, bubble sort is there, selection sort is there. So many sorting techniques are there. But in our syllabus, 2 sorting techniques are included. That is insertion sort and bubble sort. Okay. Only 2 sorting techniques, that is insertion sort and bubble sort. We are discussing about ascending based sorting technique. Okay. So arranging elements in a specific order, that is ascending order or descending order, that is sorting techniques. Sorting techniques means arranging elements in a specific order, that is either in ascending order or in descending order. Then different sorting techniques are there. To write some, after this line, write some sorting techniques. selection sort, heap sort, bubble sort, and insertion sort. Okay. Now syllabus, we need only bubble and insertion sort. Okay.
Ma'am, can you tell the different sorting?
Okay. Heap sort, quick sort.
Ma'am, just a minute, ma'am.
What Achut?
No, can you say again?
Okay. Heap sort, H-E-A-P, heap, H-E-A-P, heap sort. Quick sort, Q-U-I-C-K, quick sort. Selection sort, bubble sort, and insertion sort. Okay. Now, previous syllabus, we want to study 4 or 5 selection sort, insertion sort, bubble sort, and heap sort also we want to study. But now, new syllabus, only 2 sorting techniques, that is bubble sort and insertion sort. Okay. Bubble sort, the basic idea of bubble sort is to compare 2 adjoining values and exchange them if they are not in proper order. Write the definition. The basic idea of bubble sort is to compare 2 adjoining values or 2 adjacent values and exchange them if they are not in proper order. The basic idea of bubble sort is to compare 2 adjacent values and exchange them if they are not in proper order. Completed? Okay. Okay. I'll write one example. My list include to 5 values, that is 16, 12, 18, 13, and 14. I want to rearrange this set of elements in ascending order using bubble sort. Okay. Using bubble sort, we will just consider the first 2 value in the first iteration. Okay. The first iteration, we will just check the first 2 values. We will compare first 2 values, 2 adjacent values, that is 16 and 12. Which one is smaller?
Ma'am,
Alvin. Okay. Okay,
I
Gauri.
can see that screen you're writing.
Okay. I'm sharing that PPT. That's why. Okay. Now is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So our values are 16, 12, 18, 13, and 14. Okay. For sorting using bubble sort technique, we will first consider the first 2 values, that is 16 and 12. Which one is smaller? Anyone?
12.
12. So it will just interchange the values. So after first iteration, the value is 12, 16, 18, 13, and 14. Okay. Then it will consider the next two values. What is next two values? 16 and 18. They are in the same order. So it will display. There is no need of swapping the values. We'll just display like this. After that, it will compare 18 and 13. Here, we want to exchange the value or swap the value. So it is 12, 16, 13, 18, and 14. Okay. Then which value will compare? Emmanuel?
18 and 14.
Correct. 18 and 14 will compare. Now the result it is 13, 14, and 18. Is it in sorted order?
No, ma'am.
No. So this will repeat n times. Means how many elements are there, that much times this process will repeat. Then we get the final answer. That is bubble sort. Okay. I will explain in the next class time.